So we are going to localize connectivity related stuff. We already defined local finiteness before, and at that time I commented this is a naive definition, but it still works. We'll do the same naive thing for locally constant. But when we come to local connectedness, we'll point out both what is the naive and correct way to do it, why they coincide for local constant and local connectivity. Okay, so now suppose we have a function f from x to y. Okay, we'll define these are as usual topological space. Definition, f is locally constant, means it's constant near each point. But what does that mean specifically? If for all x in x there exists a neighborhood, which means an open set containing it, Vx of x, such that f restricted to Vx is constant. And I emphasize they need not be the same constant. Okay, so for example, if x was not connected and we had 0, 1 and 2, 3, I could have a function that sent this to the point 0 and this to the point 1. So we have a non-constant function, but it's locally constant. Near each point we have a neighborhood, which is this, which is constant. But you can see, you can guess from this picture that if it's connected, you can't do this. If it's connected and it's locally constant, then it cannot be constant. So that's the theorem here. If x is connected, and f from x to y is locally constant, no hypothesis at all on y, then f is constant. So no hypothesis on y suggests that really this is a property almost of set functions, okay, except that locally uses a topology on these things. Okay, but the continuity is not even used. Continuity is not even used, but a locally constant function is continuous. We will, it's quite easy to see that. So let me write it as an exercise here. Any locally constant function is continuous. Just show that it is continuous. Show continuous at x for all x and x. So the global definition is not very useful here directly, that inverse image of an open set is open. Instead, given any point, you have to show there's a delta neighborhood which goes into a epsilon neighborhood, except you don't have delta and epsilon, it's in terms of open sets. It's easy to see, just unpack the definitions and that follows. So it's an exercise, you have to think clearly, but more than that. So we don't assume but continuity, but it's automatic, but really you just have a function, it's locally constant, then f is constant. Okay, so the point here is proof, is we claim for, so the following lemma is true as part of this. For y in y, f inverse of the point y is open. Namely, x in f inverse of y implies there exists Vx such that, well, we don't know, so suppose x belongs to f inverse of y. Now, regardless of this, there exists Vx such that f restricted to Vx, so Vx open such that f restricted to Vx is constant. So f restricted to Vx has to be f of x, which is y. Okay, so therefore x belongs to f inverse y implies that there exists Vx open such that x is in Vx and Vx is contained in f inverse of y. So it's locally constant means this open set is contained in x inverse of y, so thus f inverse of y is open. Just like that, I might as well write it x belongs to f inverse of y of Vx is open. Okay, so hence, given the lemma, what we see is X is the union of an arbitrary collection F inverse of Y, where each F inverse of Y is open. And we saw that if a set is a arbitrary union of open sets, so this again we are using, it's important that we can work with arbitrary union of open sets. We couldn't really get 2 unless we decomposed Y in some way, but it's an arbitrary union just decomposed in a naive way by points, in a very simple-minded way by points, but these are all open, so where each F of Y is open, therefore X equals F inverse of Y naught for some Y naught. So if a connected set is a disjoint union, these are disjoint by definition of a function. So for some Y naught, that is F is constant. So there we are. We have seen this. Okay, so this was our local constantness. Okay, so what about local connectivity? Or I should say connectedness. For consistency, this is the term more commonly used, even though connectivity is the better English term. So let's take an example to start us off. Okay, so how about Q? Is Q homeomorphic? I'm leaving a space for a reason, to Z. Again, there's a space. I'll put a question mark because this is going to be modified. Okay, so is Q homeomorphic to Z? So if you think about it, connectedness doesn't tell us much. These both are countable, so they're bijective as sets, and connected components are single points here and single points here as well. Okay, because every point is open and closed here. Here points are not open and closed. Okay, but nevertheless, we see that you can ask whether okay, so here the points are not open and closed, but still their connected components are what they are. But I kind of gave away a reason why they're not homeomorphic, right? The points of Z are isolated, and homeomorphism takes isolated to isolated. Anything you can define topologically is preserved, or if you wish, every point in Z is open. That's what it means to be isolated. It's open as a point. And so its image in Q, if you had a homeomorphism, would have to be open, but single points are never open in Q. Okay, so we got around it, but how about Q cross R homeomorphic to Z cross R? Okay, so here in one case we have a whole bunch of lines separated from each other, and here we have a whole bunch of lines next to each other. Well, you can guess from what I said that so this is locally connected. That is, if I take small enough sets here, they are connected. But in Q, even if I take small enough sets, they are not connected. And so if I can correctly define local connectedness so that it's a homeomorphism invariant, then it follows, you can deduce that these two are different to each other. Okay, so the answer is that they are distinguished by local connectedness. And let me define it in two ways. Okay, so naive definition. This is like what we had, and we see that it's wrong from examples. And eventually, if it's wrong from examples, it will be wrong from properties as well. Homeomorphism is kind of a crude thing. It's very, the whole space is it the same or not. And so even the naive definition is good enough for answering this question. But in terms of the correct properties, we need a better definition, and I'll give an example why. But first let's see the naive definition. Just like we defined local finiteness and locally constant, we'll define so X is locally connected if for all X in X there exists Vx neighborhood such that Vx is connected. And why is this a naive definition? Let's add this line here. Okay, So example, let me take a purple example which illustrates why this is bad. X is, let's look at xy in R squared such that x is rational. That is what we looked at previously, which was all these vertical guys, or y equals 0. Okay, and now if I took any point here, like the red point, anything away from this purple line, okay, I would like to think it is not locally connected, because if I zoom in here, local properties are properties determined by things only near this red point. It doesn't look connected, it has many pieces, but they get connect, but the whole space is connected. Okay, so by above definition, this is locally connected. And why? By taking Vx equals x for all x and x. Okay, so the local definition is bad because it's not all that local. We could simply take Vx to be the whole set that is connected. Okay, so let me make a refined definition. So let me call this correct definition. I should maybe put it in quotes, but there are such strong general principles of mathematics behind it that I'm not going to do that. So this is the correct definition. Correct definition is that x is locally connected if for all x in x. So far so good. We don't want things to be connected far away but locally nearby. Okay, and neighborhoods and neighborhood given a neighborhood wx of x. So if I'm given the point, red point, and an orange neighborhood, I should find inside it a further purple neighborhood which is connected. So in this case, if I had this red guy, I could have an orange neighborhood which I gave you in a careless way which is not connected, but I can find a sub neighborhood which is connected. Okay, so x is locally connected if for all x in x and neighborhood wx of x, we had neighborhood w of x, there exists Vx open such that x is contained in Vx and it's contained in Wx. So there is a smaller neighborhood such that Vx is connected. So this implies naive connected. So for any property, whether it's finiteness of a cover, its constantness of a function, or connectedness of the space itself, when you want to speak of it as being local, okay, so if the space itself, its open sets or some associated object, the naive way of saying it is that each point has a neighborhood where the neighborhood itself has this property, or the function restricted to the neighborhood has this property, or the cover intersected with this neighborhood, which is essentially cover restricted to neighborhoods, has the property. But that's naive because the reason the property may hold may not be because of what is happening near that point, but maybe something else, as we saw, which this space, which was very incorrectly called locally connected, it is not. It is connected far away. Now in algebraic topology, you'll see this would be called semi-locally connected. There is one place where this is exactly the correct hypothesis. But generally what you want is local properties means given a point, if you zoom in and you specify a scale, within that you can zoom in further so the property is satisfied. Yeah, so that is what the correct definition is. And let me just write here, naive definition is equivalent to correct definition, not always, of course. That's the point here, for hereditary properties. Okay, that is those inherited by smaller sets. So since I brought this and contrasted the cases, let's look at the contrast between locally finite or locally constant versus locally connected. The thing is that if a set is connected, a subset of that need not be connected. But if a function on a set is constant, or a cover of a set is finite, then on a subset the cover will be finite, and on the subset the function will be constant. So these are hereditary properties. Connectedness is not hereditary. If it's a hereditary property and it satisfies this locally in the naive sense, so for definiteness, let's think of locally constant functions. If a function is locally constant as we defined it earlier, it's also locally constant in this refined sense, because given Wx, we have a neighborhood Vx on which it is constant, but Vx need not be contained in Wx. Simply look at Vx intersection Wx. That is smaller than Vx, so it will still be constant on that. Yeah, so if something is inherited, then naive local is the same as local in the other sense. So this is the correct definition of local. Henceforth, in topology, if you ever see local properties, you should say that means given a point and given a neighborhood of that, there's a smaller neighborhood which has the property. And then you could go to a smaller neighborhood of that, there's an even smaller neighborhood that has the property. Okay, we have to be quite careful, because what happens is, for example, if two properties are locally true, their intersection may not be locally true. You might go to a smaller neighborhood and get one, you lose the other property. And then you get the other, you lose the first. All these become quite important when you're dealing with covering spaces, for example. But at the set topological thing, these are still interesting things to think about.